happy Halloween from one giant Akatsuki member to the next. I know a lot of you guys are gonna be celebrating your Halloweens really this weekend, but like, I honestly, I could be Count Chocula in this. I could really just like, look at me, look at this, like, dun dun dun, Akatsuki. Let's dig on into the Halloween special. I think that's the reason why you guys are here. Happy Halloween, guys. MKohl40. Happy Halloween, everybody. Stay safe out there if you're going out and being the gracious adult you are. And if you're a little kid eating candy, watch out for needles. That's the best and safest thing to do this year, because I've already read like 3 news articles about this stuff, because it happens. So, we are covering the ever so fun Ghostrick deck yet again this year. Players constantly always asking about this. Akano actually gave this to me and was like, Robbie, go have fun on Halloween. I was like, alright, guy, let's do this. So, Ghostricks, they're the unplayable deck this year because Lynx can't be set face down. It's a sad thing to say, but it's okay, because we don't have to set Link monsters. We can just stop all the big plays before they're actually made, because it's how this deck goes. Also, I don't know if you guys know, but they were nice enough to give Ghostricks better cards. You know, Mischief over here, just being able to do mischiefy things like this. Being able to get 10 materials on this thing to win the duel. I'm glad that they gave this deck a win con. Like, we needed it. So, what do Ghostricks aim to do? We aim to slow the duel down to the point where, well, the opponent just rage quits because they can't play the game. Or, you know, we stick all of our Xyz materials into this card. It's never going to actually happen, but you can do it. So, let's dig on into the ghostly treat for the year. So we have triple copies of Ghostrick Doll. Cannot be normal summoned unless you control a Ghostrick monster. Okay. Once per turn, you can change this card to face down defense mode, and then when this card is flipped face up during the end phase, change as many face up monsters on the field to face down defense position. Then you get to special summon one Ghostrick monster from your deck and face down defense mode monster whose level is less than or equal to the number of monsters flipped face down via this effect. So basically, this allows you to feed off more of our Ghostrick friends. One thing that we need with our Ghostrick friends here is we need to kind of capitalize and get as many of these little ghostly treats on the field. We need to swarm, because it's kind of the thing that, if you'll notice with Ghostricks, our advantage-based engine is literally based on how many of our ghostly friends we're able to kind of capitalize with. So, Doll grants us the ability to see more of those key monsters on the field, so we're basically able to, play the game. Now, we have triple copies of Jack Frost. So, cannot be normal summoned unless you control a Ghostrick. Once per turn, you can change this card to face down defense mode, so this has a self-sufficient flip in itself. And when an opponent's monster declares a direct attack, you can change that opponent's monster to face down defense mode. If you do, you get to special summon this card from your hands. It's actually one of the better Ghostrick cards that we actually have in the game. This grants us the ability to interrupt the opponent attack. Now, unfortunately, we can't do anything about Link monsters. I actually wish that we could, but, it's okay. Like, you just kind of take the L on that one. But you have a very powerful card that allows itself to be beamed onto the field, and it does count as another monster for us to actually interact with the opponent for Ghostricks. So, we take those where we get them. And then, of course, triple copies of Ghostrick Jingashi. So, can't be normal summon unless you control a Ghostrick monster. Once per turn, it can flip itself back face down. And then when this card is flipped face up, you can add one Ghostrick monster whose level is less than or equal to the Ghostrick monsters you control. So basically, like I said, our whole goal here is we got to get as many of these ghostly frights on the field as possible. Once we're able to do that, then we can kind of start capitalizing on the raw advantage. And Jingashi allows us to, to float into the more important cards. We have 9 monsters that interact with the opponent battle. Actually, I think we have 12 that interact with the opponent battling with us as we're kind of trying to capitalize on this. So this is our searcher, the thing that we want to see to allow us to play the game. So it's kind of ironic because this deck is just literally T-set and pray. So it's something you have to understand. Now, this is probably one of the best cards in the deck. Ghostrick Lantern. Cannot be normal summoned unless you control that Ghostrick monster. Same clause as the others. You can change this guy to face down defense position once per turn. And when an opponent's monster declares a direct attack, or when a Ghostrick monster you control is targeted for an attack, you can negate that attack. And if you do, special soul summon this card from your hand to face down defense mode. So you're probably looking at this and you're like, wow, direct attack or on a Ghostrick monster. That's some real big value. And yes, it is. You have this and basically Jack Frost here that both interact with the opponent attacking. This flips face on, this just negates generic attacks. So, very good cards, by the way. Then we have triple copies of Ghostrick Mary. So once again, it can't be normal summon unless you control that Ghostrick monster. Once per turn, you can change this card to face down defense position. And then when you would take damage, you can discard this card, special summon a Ghostrick from your deck, face down defense position. Doesn't need to have a level requirement for this. Doesn't need to have really anything else. You just have to take damage. Also, this is battle damage or effect damage, by the way. So if your opponent burns you off, you can go ahead and activate this, beam out your friends. Actually really good value. And then play triple copies of Spectre. So it can't be normal summoned unless you control a Ghostrick. Change it to face down defense mode. And when a Ghostrick monster is controlled or destroyed by an opponent's card effect or by battle with their attacking monster, sent to the graveyard, you get to special summon this card from your hand in face down defense mode. Then you get to draw a card. This actually is relatively cool. It passes on a draw effect for you to kind of refresh some of that damage that you've taken. Now we play triple copies of Ghostrick Mansion. Monsters cannot attack face down defense position monsters. So all your Ghostrick monsters get to be ghost, but can attack directly if their opponent controls face down defense mode monster. And all effect damage or battle damage inflicted by a monster other than Ghostrick monsters is halved. So good news, you're taking less damage. Bad news, you're still taking damage. But we're trying to snowball here for this. Then we play one copy of Ghostrick Museum. So monsters you control, except for Ghostrick monsters, cannot attack. Monsters cannot attack defense position monsters, but can attack directly if all opponent's monsters are face down. And at the end of the damage step, change any monsters that inflicted battle damage to a player into face down defense mode. So you get to kind of avoid certain fatality. Then we have triple copies of Ghostrick Parade. So monsters cannot attack face down defense position monsters, but attack directly. And then your opponent takes no damage. And then when an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can add one Ghostrick card from your deck to your hand. So this actually allows you to go tutor for these cards. And then, of course, we play more of the boring stuff. Triple copies of Pot of Duality, triple copies of Pot of Extravagance, because you need to see these cards in order to... You need advantage in order to play the game. If you can't see draw power, what are you supposed to do? Then, of course, we play one copy of Terraforming. We'll play two copies of Ghostrick Renovation. So target one Ghostrick field spell, return it to your hand, then you can activate one field spell from your hand or deck. Then you can banish this card from a graveyard, target one Ghostrick Xyz monster you control. So summon one Ghostrick Xyz monster from your extra deck, a different name, and then you transfer the materials. And of course, you can only use the effect of Ghostrick Renovation once per turn. This card's actually pretty good. And of course, triple copies of Scare. Target any number of face-down defense position monsters you control. Change them to face-up defense mode. Count the number of Ghostrick monsters among them. And if you do, change that many face-up monster your opponent controls to face-down defense mode. So basically, you're scaring the opponent into submission. It's so cute. Then we have triple copies of Go Round. So, this card is nuts. So you can target one Ghostrick monster you control, change it to face-down mode, and if you do, change one face-down to face-up monster your opponent controls to face attack position. Okay? And you target one face-down defense position monster you control, change it to face attack position. If it's a Ghostrick monster, you get to change an opponent's monster to face-down defense mode. So, actually get some value out of this. Extra deck, we have two Slacker, two Shamanji Soldier, two Utopia Roots, two Assembled Nightingale. We have the one Scoutabus, so it's two level 2s to make it. Your Your opponent cannot target this card for attacks, and once per turn, get should excuse material from this card. Trick one face a monster on the field with attack less than or equal to the combined attack of all Ghostrick monsters on the field and destroy it. And if you do, that monster zone cannot be used as long as you control Ghostrick. So this card's actually really good for control. Triple copies of Dualham. One copy of our win con, basically. So you can see summon this card using one Ghostrick monster you control. And then when the number of exceeds materials on this card becomes 10, you can win the duel. Once per turn, detach a material from this card to add one Ghostrick spell trap card from your deck to your hand. We never actually see this as a win con, but we can. Then once per turn, attach one Ghostrick card from your hand to this card as material. And then 2 copies of Lou card, just the generic popper. And then you target one Ghostrick monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. Or Ghostrick card, actually. So it actually floats. Side deck here is triple Droll, triple Phantasmi, triple copies of Red Blossom, triple Swords, triple copies of Infinite Permanence, wrapping up this deck profile. So what do you guys think about this deck? Hope you guys have a good Halloween. Please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think, and well, see you guys on the flip side. Deuce Reno. The ride never, well, truly ends. Thank you, patrons. Without you guys, I don't know what I'd be wearing in these videos. I might be a Truffle Shuffle incident all over again. Guys, please also check out MKohl40 for some awesome Vanguard content. Some other interesting stuff you might find up here on the left or in the description as well. Thanks for watching.